Includes how and when lawmakers would vote on the expiring Obamacare subsidies at the core of Democrats' demands. We have Republican Congressman Brian Stile of Wisconsin joining us now to talk a little bit about this. Okay, there does seem to be this movement and discussions in the House and the Senate. How much momentum is this? Is this real? Do you think this is going to end soon?
Well, the consequences of the Chuck Schumer shutdown have continued to build and the chaos grows, and I'm hopeful that this is resolved sooner rather than later. The spending process in D.C. has been broken for decades, and the off-ramp has historically been a clean CR. That was the starting point for House Republicans. We passed this well over a month ago. But I think as we get into tomorrow and into the weekend, the consequences will dramatically build with air traffic control and a reduction in flights. More individuals who are finding out that they don't have funding on their food stamp benefits, and more individuals, such as Capitol Police tomorrow, not receiving a second or a third paycheck. The sooner we get out of this and begin negotiations on fiscal year 26 approach, as well as other policy priorities, the better off the nation is.
We've seen a lot of shutdowns in recent years, and we've certainly gone to the precipice of a whole lot of them. But nonetheless, so you think that this reduction in flights is going to kick in? It sounds like your district's right across the street, I think, from the Milwaukee airport. Is that right? Yeah. So this is going to have a trickle-down effect. What is that going to look like?
Well, it's going to be chaos across the skies, and that's going to continue to build. 10% flight reduction is like a giant snowstorm. And so
it's worse, right?
And the ripple through the air traffic is going to be felt by countless people. But that's only one example of the chaos. It's the families that aren't receiving their full SNAP benefits due to the shutdown. It's families who are working and not getting paid, from Capitol Police to Border Patrol, and our troops are at risk of not receiving pay once again. And so the consequences of this build is the chaos builds. The pressure needs to build on the Senate and the Senate Democrats to stop filibustering the clean CR that the House passed now over a month ago.
They're talking about a standalone vote on subsidies. In the House, this bipartisan proposal that's being discussed is about extending the subsidies for 2 years, capping the income between $200,000 and $400,000. Which do you prefer?
Well, I think there should be dramatic reforms inside the Affordable Care Act, premium subsidies as designed by Democrats. Those payments go directly into insurance companies.
But for the purposes of this off-ramp that has to get done here as soon as possible.
Well, we'll see what the negotiations come out of the Senate. What I'm offering is there needs to be dramatic reforms inside the program for us to move forward with this. The challenge that we see is we know there's significant waste, fraud, and abuse, and in particular there's insurance companies taking advantage of the mechanisms that the Democrats put in place for them to receive those payments. And so I'm open to the idea of having these conversations and negotiations. We've said let's do that without the brinksmanship, as the government is open and operational. We'll see what the negotiations come out of the Senate. The sooner the Senate gets away and we break the Democratic filibuster on this legislation, the better off we're going to be. We'll see what the legislation is.
Affordability, which is, I think, what gets to the point of these ACA subsidies, and that's why it has resonated with people. That was really what we saw coming out of the election results this week. The president has talked a lot about it. He actually responded last night when he was asked by a Republican Trump voter who said, "Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump." And here's part of his answer to Fox.
I do say this, beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that, yeah. I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it.
Brett asked him to clarify. Prices are not down on what he's talking about. They're not coming down. You must be hearing this from people in your district.
Yeah, we still have an opportunity to make life more affordable, but a lot of progress has been made, from deregulation to energy policy. When we think about groceries, one of the biggest drivers is the cost of diesel fuel. It's a tractor in the field during the harvest. It's a truck bringing those goods to the grocery store. The energy policy that we have put in place with the Trump administration is beginning to reduce those prices, and a massive shift from where we were during the Biden administration.
Where is it beginning to reduce those prices?
Well, I think you see oil prices coming down dramatically.
No, you said
diesel
groceries.
prices.
You said it's beginning to reduce those prices. Groceries.
It will flow through the process as those energy prices come down for our farmers. I don't offer that we are where we need to be at the end result. I offer that one of the largest drivers inside grocery prices is diesel costs.
How long will that take? Because groceries have been up every month month since the start of Trump's presidency.
Yeah, this is about reforming energy policies that the Biden administration was disastrous on for 4 years. It takes a period of time for the deregulation to get to the wellhead, to get that oil and gas online and driving prices further down. Making sure that diesel prices and gas prices are lower is one of the largest drivers to bring down grocery costs for American families.
He's saying that they are down. Is that, I mean, when there was a problem with the way President Biden would talk about the economic picture, and that was that when he messaged about it, he was saying something that people were not feeling because things were costing so much because of inflation. And even as inflation slowed, people were still paying so much, and it was incredibly painful, right? And that was the lesson, I think, for everyone coming out of that election. The president is now saying that the costs are down, but they're not. Is that a problem for Republicans to be misrepresenting the economic picture that Americans cannot escape from? They feel it every moment of every day.
Life is too expensive, and we need to continue to work to put forward policies that makes it more affordable. Energy policy, deregulation. The administration and Republicans have done a lot in that regard. Tax reductions in the one big beautiful bill, but making sure that those get all the way across the line and we continue to find ways to reduce costs is going to have to be front and center of our agenda.
Congressman Brian Stile, thank you so much for coming in studio. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And still ahead, we do have our first image of that voice recorder and the flight data recorder.